Good afternoon, guys, and happy Saturday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, I don't have a haul for you guys because we didn't end up going to the grocery stores today. I'm gonna pop into Jewel and to Aldi and possibly Menards, I think, too, tomorrow, just because there's like very few little things going on at Jewel, and that's why I was like, oh, probably won't even go this weekend, but we'd probably need a couple things at Aldi anyway as well, and Menards, because they do have a couple sale things that we were probably gonna get, and then again, because Jewel, we were out anyway, we'll probably just go to Jewel because again they have like very few items that were going on. But like Valley Produce and Caputo's ran the same ad from last week, and I need like another turkey and you know, all that stuff, so that's why they should have their new ads like starting for next week. So yeah, like I said, going to go to the stores tomorrow. I'm going to bed very late, honestly. I feel like this entire sort of like weekend, sort of like Thanksgiving break sort of thing, has really screwed up my sleeping schedule like even worse right now, just because I am like sort of all over the place as far as like when I'm going to bed and stuff like that, just because like Matthew's been home, so we've been like staying up and doing things, and like my mom even too was up really late last night, and then like we've been waking up. We haven't needed to like get up for anything super early either over like the last couple days. Like on Thanksgiving we ended up getting up, I think I got up maybe around 9 o'clock so we could still watch the parade before the Bears game. But other than that, I haven't needed to get up. So I've been waking up at like 11 o'clock, noon. Like I've been awake before noon pretty much every day, but I haven't needed to get up for anything before then. So that's why I haven't really been like doing, like getting up early. Today we did get a lot of stuff done though. We got the Christmas tree is decorated. A bunch of sort of the stuff in the living room is decorated, but not all of it. We don't have all of the decorations. We haven't gotten down all the boxes either. We did a bunch of that stuff though, and we needed to get to like the lights for outside and everything like that. So my dad also did the lights on the back porch. We got lit up, and have all of those lights back there, because they were the ones I think we did originally on the front bush, but they were like the big bulbs, like color lights, and we wanted to do the smaller like white lights, because we might wind up getting a ladder to be able to do the gable this year, like to do the hang them off the roof, and if we do, we'd probably do white icicle lights, so to get everything sort of to match in the front yard. I think that's what we did last year, and we were gonna rent a ladder and we didn't end up doing it, but they do have a ladder on sale at Menards, so that was one of the reasons we might stop in if they even have any left, because it's part of their like Black Friday sale, so I don't know if they would have it. But anyway, so we ended up like needing to get that stuff down too, so we got that stuff all like we finally found all the lights, and we're gonna, like I said, see which ones still work, what we might need to wind up buying, and then if we need those we can get them possibly next weekend, then maybe at Menards if we don't have enough, or you know, again, we can like decorate with what we have and then finish it off with like the other stuff. But anyway, so all that, like I said, the decorating stuff ended up getting done, but before that we ended up getting to a bunch of stuff in the front yard. We ended up getting our forsythia bush trimmed, which needed it from a lot of the summer. It was looking kind of bad and just like crazy out of control, and so we got it trimmed though, because we're gonna decorate it, and obviously we needed some of the lights, you know, need to be able to be strung on there, and you can't when the bushes like hanging into the driveway right now, because like I said, sort of crazy and all out of control. So we ended up getting that trimmed, and then when we were doing that, I was like, all these beds need to be like sort of raked out. So my dad ended up sort of trimming everything down actually with just the weed whacker. And then me and Matthew went through and raked everything. So like there was like tall dead stuff in there that normally I would just cut out, you know, cut and trim down with like shears. And so since I was like, well, my dad has a weed whacker, I guess we could just try and like just weed whack everything, you know, be the same as me shearing all the stuff. So he just went over and did that, and then me and Matthew just raked everything on the beds. It actually went super quick. So we ended up getting all of the beds, the one in between our driveway, the one along our sidewalk and driveway and house, and then the big one in the front yard, and then the one next to the front door. We got all of those done within like maybe an hour or two, no more than that. And then I also got all the bird feeders all filled and hung up too, which is weird because like the birds haven't really been going to them, it feels like, that often, just because like I haven't needed to, like, they were still sort of full, like there was still some bird seed left in them, but it wasn't like completely full, so I was like, I guess I could totally fill them up. And the same thing too with some of the suets, like I don't know if they're like freezing so the birds aren't eating them, but it hasn't even really been cold enough for anything to freeze, so I don't really know. And like they can still eat through it, like, you know, so I don't really know what the problem is and why they haven't really been at the feeders that often. Like I see birds, but they just don't seem to be coming to the feeders. So like I said, I ended up filling up sort of all the feeders that were half or less full. And there's one feeder in the backyard though, two I guess, that were completely empty. All the rest of them still had bird seed in them, but they just weren't going to the bird feeders. So I don't know again. But I got all that done. I picked up some of the other stuff that was like along the driveway, like, and sort of just took care of some of those things. And I'm trying to think what else too. We ended up actually having a small little bonfire, I guess, yesterday. I didn't even, like, wasn't even back there for it. Matthew ended up burning some of the stuff that we pulled out a couple weeks ago from the backyard too, and just burned it so we didn't have to like bag it or anything like that. So we got all of that done yesterday too. And then today, like I said, with the front yard, we got all of that stuff taken care of. And just to make it easier for when we go to, like, because we have these cute little like lanterns that we put in the front flower bed, but it's hard when there's stuff everywhere. I also got, my mom had some, what's it called, tulips and like bulbs and stuff like that, like spring bulbs. So I planted those. I hope they'll do okay, like, just because I don't know if I was supposed to plant them like before, like the ground wasn't frozen. It was actually still very like workable, so I don't know though if they were supposed to be planted like still at like a higher temperature, but I don't think so, because I think the way that they like initiate that is that they need to be in like for the first frost, or not first frost, but like they need to be in over winter to like, and not winterize them, but like, you know, so to like initiate the like process of them like blooming then in the spring. And so anyways, so I got those all planted as well. And then on top of that too, so that was like, I think all of the outside work we ended up doing. And Jack mowed the back lawn. He's going to do the front lawn tomorrow, and we're going to do just the 2 small flower beds that are in the backyard and then be done with all of that, and we don't have to really get to any more of that stuff. But then on top of that too, when I was back inside afterwards, because my dad had to take the car or his van somewhere or something like that to go have it like worked on. And so him and Matthew were gone for a little while, and then they went to go pick up dinner. And while they were doing that, I actually, well, I did my bedroom windows. If you guys can tell, there's sort of a plasticky film over them right now. I ended up getting the like the plastic, those things I got at Menards for like $1 each, and we needed 12 of them, because mine actually, I don't know if you guys can tell, but like in between here there isn't actually, it is 2 different pieces, because the pieces are not big enough to go. Mine is sort of like a double window, even though like I say it's 1 window, it's a big window, but it's technically 2 small windows, and so the piece actually doesn't fit over like the whole thing. I had to do 2 separate ones. So like for that, because I measured ahead of time, so for that, and the one in the kitchen is also like a double, so that would take 2 as well. So we needed 12 in total. I ended up doing my bedroom ones actually before we started working outside, then went outside, came back in, and like I said, while they were gone, I got the bathroom window done as well, and the one in my mom's office, which my mom's office is very cold and drafty because she also has the back door, the like fake half French door back there. I say it's not French doors because French doors don't open like in the middle. At least that's why I always thought French doors were. This is like a non-sliding door that only opens on one side, but then the other one is just a big pane of glass. We could possibly, but see, I don't think it's big enough. I was gonna say we could possibly actually put the plastic over just on the one side that isn't the door, but I don't really know how much that would help because it is all sealed sort of anyway, but the door is a little drafty. But we were like, we could still help a little bit, and just trying to like again do the my mom's office window. And then I have another 2 to do. My parents have 2 separate windows in their bedroom, and then the 2 in the kitchen, which I didn't get to yet, and then there's 4 windows upstairs, but we have to put locks in upstairs because I guess the windows don't have locks upstairs. Well, I think one of them does. One was replaced, I think, when I don't want to say the when they did the addition, because the other ones that are actually on the part that is the addition look older, and the other one is a newer one. So I don't know if maybe it broke and they replaced that one, or like what, or if they ended up maybe adding it after the fact. But it's like a plastic window. The other ones are all wood. And the ones we replaced in the living room years ago are all not very drafty, so that's why I don't think we're going to put the plastic over those ones. But all the other all of the other windows are still original to the house, and so they, like I said, they're very drafty, and so that's why we have to put the plastic stuff over it. And I thought we hadn't done it before, but I figured it was a good idea. And I saw one of my friends had it at her house like a long time ago, and I remember being like, that's pretty cool, like that's smart. Again, just to sort of like, again, keep that cold air out. And especially too, because she had they had a big house, and it was kind of older, I think, too. And again, it was like one of those, like, you probably have some drafty areas too, and it probably costs a lot to heat a house that, you know, is like that big. And again, older houses I feel like are also harder to keep you know, like warm in the winter time. So again, we ended up getting all of this put in. And like, it's so weird too, because my mom was saying when she sits in her bed, she can feel like a draft on the back of her neck. Sometimes when I'm sitting at my desk, I can sometimes, like, I'll put my hand up and I can feel, like I said, it sort of coming out of the windows too. And like the same thing too in the bathroom. Like when I go to take a shower, I'll feel like a cool breeze, and I'm like, that is from the window draft. So yeah, but we ended up, like I said, getting to those rooms just because those were the ones I had access to. Like, my parents have something that's in front of, well, their bed on one of the windows, and then there's something else on the other side. And they were like, you probably can only maybe get to the one on the bed side, not the other side. So like I said, I have to wait to actually get those done, but it wasn't that tough. I probably didn't do the most perfect or prettiest job, but again, it is all sealed very well, so I'm not too concerned about that. But like, you can sort of see, like, it's not super tight, like it has a little bit of a give in it. I think they're supposed to be pretty tight. And like I said, I probably didn't do it all that great of a, you know, job, but like I said, I personally feel like it's just about making sure that it's sealed very well. So as long as, like I said, that is sort of the big thing, it sort of creates that like barrier so that you're not getting quite as much cold or drafts or anything like that through there. And then we also took all the storms down too, because that sort of helps a little bit as well. But I forgot to do, or at least forgot to check the one in the bathroom, so I don't know if the storm's down or just the screen still. And then like the main window is down, but that's how old our windows are. They're not like built in with the storm like the ones in the living room are. They have separate like pull down like storm windows that you have to pull down. So like I said, we have to get our windows replaced, the rest of the ones in the house. But the ones upstairs, so what happened with the ones upstairs was that I went upstairs and I could see Jack had curtains in front of one window, and I saw them blowing, and I was like, his window is so totally open. I was like, and I went and I looked, and it wasn't open at the bottom. It was open at the top, because it sort of falls down a little bit over time, which was something that happened with, I want to say maybe the bathroom window too, and I realized that that one just wasn't locked. The upstairs ones do not have locks on them. I think when my parents painted the windows upstairs, they didn't ever put the locks back on, and so my bedroom also didn't have locks on them, and we got locks on them. And like the upstairs isn't like super like we need locks on them, you know, like for security reasons, everything like that. Like somebody's, I don't think many people are scaling a 2-story house to try and get in there, you know. But again, it's like, it's more for the fact that they were falling down from the top, and so I was like, we need to get a lock so that when you do the lock, it won't fall anymore, because it's stopping it from falling. And so yeah, we have to get those put in though before we do the windows, because it'd be so like not smart to just have the plastic over it, and then if the window winds up falling again, it not, you know, like what is that helping if the window's open at the top? Like, it wasn't open a ton, but it was open in a little crack, and it was enough on a windy day for me to notice it. And I was like, how have you guys never noticed this? Like, you know. And Jack kept complaining about it being cold upstairs too, and so he's like this was like early on in fall too, and he was like, it feels so cold upstairs, and I was like, it's not even that bad outside. But he's like, I'm gonna have to turn the heat on upstairs. And I was like, okay. I was like, and then a couple days later was when I found out that his window was open a crack. So we need to get those put on before we do the plastic over those. And like I said, I can do the the kitchen ones, I just have to do the dishes first, and so once I get that done, then we can put those ones in there. And again, I have to wait for my parents to move their stuff around. But I genuinely like standing here sometimes too. I can even feel like sometimes a cold breeze, especially when my curtains are not closed, and they're not closed right now, and I don't really feel anything cool coming through. So I think that we are, like I said, on a very positive, you know, like I said, I'm constantly like dragging my hand around, like trying to feel for anything, and it's not that cold, and it's a pretty thick layer of plastic too, so I feel like it's also pretty good. And again, they were pretty cheap. They were only 99 cents after rebate at Menards, so we were able to again get 12 of them for 12 bucks, and hopefully it saves us at least the 12 bucks on like heating costs, you know. Hopefully it saves us more than that, but even just that much, you know, and the furnace not having to run as much because we don't have to try and keep the house as warm, you know, because we're not letting in drafts and stuff like that, which again is one of the problems when you have a old house, is that again, it's, you know, and the windows are original to the house still, is that it's, you know, it's gonna let in the draft. So we a lot of times too will put like what's it called, like roll up towels and put towels on the windowsill. That's what we used to do all the time. But I realized too, I'm like, that's not even like super helpful, because again, they sort of just come in all around the entire window, like even on the sides, and especially it feels like at the top, and you can't really do much there. So I was like, these will just, they'll do, you know, they'll work. I don't love looking at it, like, you know, it definitely has like a glare and stuff like that, and it just doesn't look as, you know, pristine to look through when you're like, oh, I want to see the birds outside, you know, that kind of thing. But again, it does its job, so, you know, it's not that big of a deal. The only problem is, like, my mom likes to decorate the windowsills, especially for Christmas. We're not going to be able to do that because we got, like I said, this stuff here. Like, there's a very, very small, like, it takes up more than half of the windowsill, really, where I put the plastic, and taped it down. So yeah, anyways, I will see you guys though all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.